Okay, so hello everybody, and today I would like to present my project. And uh, I went to Indonesia, but first let me introduce myself as we don't know each other. So my name is Radka, and yeah, I'm from Slovakia, obviously, and I'm 25, and I decided to participate in EVS project in Indonesia. And it was, well, I want to tell you everything about the project, but I'm pretty sure that it's impossible to express everything just in 20 minutes and show you how it was and so on. But I have plenty of pictures, and I will give you some comments on them so you can at least move a bit to Indonesia, and you can have at least like a brief image of the project, what I was doing there. So, yeah, I didn't know it's in English, but I will translate it. There is just a brief list of everything what is related to my project, and actually, I want to speak about all these things. And so, the length of my project was 6 months. It was since August till the end of January, and in total it was 190 days, what is like at first sight is like, oh my god, it's so long time, but when I was there it was like passing really fast, and I didn't realize and it was over. So it's really short time to experience everything there. And during all my stay there, I visited 5 islands, but the main island that I was living, it was Java Island, and actually it's not the biggest one, but it's like the most developed island in Indonesia, and there were more than 100 million and 50,000 people, so it's really like it's like the hell. And there were many associations and many schools I've experienced, and the one which was the most important in my project, it was a primary school. It was in Indonesian countryside, and I stayed there. Well, the first idea was to stay there during all my project, but my host organization, they were really nice, and when we wanted to change something or we had some troubles or difficulties, they were very helpful, and they did whatever they saw in our eyes. So I didn't ask them that I want to change it, but I told them that if it's possible, maybe I would like to experience another school just for a couple of days or another city and so on. And they helped me with this issue, and I could stay in two primary schools, one military academy, then one kindergarten, one university. It was private university, what was great experience for me, as I am as I was student of translation, and there was a department of translation, so it was really brilliant experience for me. And I met many people. I cannot count them. Then I have so many memories. And another very important thing is that I stayed not in the flat, as it's really usual for volunteers, but I stayed in families. And in total I had 3 families. What was like, it was really great experience, but in the same time it was really difficult experience because of the language problem and so on, but I will speak about it later. So I want to start with pictures. And uh, I remember this picture, and it was first day when we arrived there, and I have to say that I was really ready for the worst thing in the world. I was ready for everything what you can imagine, and I expected a huge cultural shock and so on. But I think reality, I didn't meet the reality. My expectations didn't meet the reality. It was completely different. I cannot say that it was worse or better, but it was different. So even I just realized that even I was ready for really everything, I wasn't ready for reality. I was ready for everything except reality. And we had it was during first day we had all volunteers and Indonesian people lunch together, and we were sitting on the floor and eating with hands, and it was like really cultural shock. And I was okay, I have to fight with everything. And from the beginning it was really difficult for me. And then many people around, as you know, in Slovakia there are something around 5 million inhabitants, and suddenly in Indonesia more than 200 million. So it was really difficult for me to struggle. And then when we arrived to Indonesia, it was independence celebration. They were celebrating a lot. So we were sitting on the streets, on the road, and singing, praying, eating all together. And I was the only white person there, so I was like a star, and it was like very nice, but in the same time a bit difficult, because I just realized how celebrities' life can like how is this life of celebrities, because they are all the time middle of attention. And yeah, it's not my cup of tea. And yeah, food was really like not bad, not it was delicious, but it was really spicy, and eating with hands it was quite difficult to learn how to eat and so on. And then I visited a couple of villages, and they had all the time some kind of celebrations, and they have some stands there, and I was all the time middle of attention. I was always speaking about me, who I am, how old I am, what I do in Indonesia, why I came to Indonesia. They couldn't understand why Indonesia and so on. So it was really nice experience. And then suddenly I became millionaire from one day to another day. And basically I couldn't spend money because I lived in countryside, and there was nothing. So I was just like home and school. And if I met with some people, it was by their motorbike. So it was really easy to save money there. Just during weekends I could travel, so this was the only cost that I had. And then it was first time in my first school. It was primary school, and the kids were it was in the city. It was just for a couple of days, and kids were shocked of me. They didn't know how to behave. They didn't know how to say hello. They were really confused of me. But I think this time it was my first time to meet Indonesian students, and I think I was more confused than they were, because there were around 1,000 students, and all of them wanted to take a picture with me. All of them were screaming, jumping, running, everything in the same time. So it was really crazy. It was very nice experience for me. But I stayed there only for a couple of days, and then I moved to my main school, and it was in countryside. And this man, I don't know if you can see it. His name is Amir, and I think without him I couldn't stay there for 6 months, because he was really helpful for me, and he was helping me with everything, really everything. And it was meeting about travel, about using motorcycles and so on. It was all in Indonesian language, so I didn't understand anything. But he is a very important person for me now, because he helped me a lot. And I spent with him and his family, wife and his son, a lot of time. I was visiting them very often, and he was English teacher in school, and he also visited Slovakia. So he is really nice person for me. And all these teachers are teachers from my first primary school. I stayed there only for a couple of days, and they were crazy about me. They were taking pictures, and actually they were very important for me because they were first Indonesian people that I met with, and they showed me everything like very important what I should know. They told me about many important things what I should know while staying there. So they were really like something like base for me. They gave me some good advices and so on. So really this time with them, and then I moved to another school. But in the end of project, I asked my host organization to put me again to this school because I felt very comfortable with them, and I just wanted to say like goodbye and have a couple of classes with some students. And it was in the city, so it was completely different than staying in countryside. It was like different planet, but I will explain it later. And this is there are students not from my school, but when I came to Indonesia, we had like first 2 weeks were just like visiting some schools and so on. And we visited one region in East Java, and it was very village school, and there were students, and they were really crazy about foreigners. And one little boy came to us and gave us a paper with pen, and he asked us autogram as we were celebrities. So it was really nice, and we didn't understand why we are so like stars, because we are just normal people, nothing special. But for them we were like kings and princesses. It was really nice experience. Again, in it was in private school in countryside, and I was there just for one day. I had many invitations for to visit some schools. They were people in my region. They were crazy about me, so I was visiting many schools every day and just giving them some basic classes like teaching numbers, vegetables, and so on. And this is in my school first school, and it was canteen and students. And this is a picture from scouting. In our school we had every Friday students have had to learn wear scout uniforms, and we were going to have a camp for 2 days, and there were more than 300 students, so there were trucks taking them to the camp, and they were really happy about it. Again, students. And this was my class. In my school there were more than 20 classes, and it was very difficult to teach English there because they didn't know anything. Some of them, they didn't even know how to say my name is, and it was really difficult. And from the beginning I took it really seriously, and I made a schedule like what I want to learn, teach them, and I really had a plan of homeworks and so on. Then I realized, come on, wake up. It doesn't work like this. So I went step by step, and I sometimes I had a really big problem because even English teachers they didn't speak English. So when I wanted to explain them something, it was impossible. It was really impossible. I was trying in many ways, but then I just realized, just speak English, forget about grammar. So I just stopped using grammar, no tenses, nothing, just word by word, and it finally it worked out. But it was really difficult to find a way how to work with them, and it was also difficult because they didn't know that if teacher is in classroom they have to be quiet, they have to sit down on the chairs. They didn't know really basic, so step by step they learn that now we have to be quiet because I'm in the classroom. And it was really nice to work with them, and I could see after 1 month I could see like big step what I did. and basically they learned a lot. They knew how to introduce themselves. They knew how to speak about them, some like really basic sentences, and we did everything by playing games. I was observing them, and when I saw them I realized that it's pretty cool to play games with them as with two teams, because I realized that if they have to play and if they see competition, they are really into, they really want to win, they really want to work. So I always divided them into two teams or three or four depending on the class, and we always did something. And through this competition they were really happy. They didn't want to finish class, and before it was really like really bad. So after some time I'm just find a way have to work with them, and it was really nice. And after that, after all the classes finished and after I finished in the school, one class wrote me like letters or something like that. They were supposed to write all of them three words about me, and each of them wrote discipline. So really, I they realized that if the teacher is there, they have to be quiet, and they realize that when they are quiet and I'm listening and we listen to each other, we can work together. But if they don't follow me, it doesn't work like that. So they were really good class, and I could see the progress with them. And this is the teacher that I was talking about. It was from the camp that we went with scouts, and it was really nice. They were very nice activities, like in Slovakia I wasn't part of scout club, but I know that it is here. But I think their activities are really like, you have to see it. It's impossible to explain it, but it was really nice to be in the jungle and going around banana trees and mango trees, and it's really nice experience. And I was sleeping there in the tent, and yeah, it was really brilliant. And this is another teacher, and we were just walking around the city by motorbike, and he was always buying me some fruits. When I told that I like mangoes, every single day I got some mangoes from the teachers because it was mango season. This is another teacher, and she was very helpful for me as a previous teacher. They were two teachers taking care of me, and she was like, really, I think without all these two teachers I couldn't stay there such a long time. And these are students from a new school that I was just invited for one day, so I just went there to speak with them and play some games. This is my first school, and this is a flag ceremony that we did every Monday in the morning. So they got some like rules and so on. They were playing autumn. They were praying, and after that we could start lessons. And it was every Monday with all students, all teachers, and director. It was really nice ceremony. And this is our activity, and it was cleaning the school. It was very dirty around school, so I decided to clean up environment with students, and they were, firstly, they didn't have any motivation. It was really difficult to tell them that now it's time to clean, so it doesn't matter that it's English class, we are going to clean because we want to have clean environment. They didn't understand, they didn't want. So again, competition, four teams, four boxes, and I told them who is first with full boxes is a winner, and I gave them some cookies or something like that. And it was brilliant. It was working really. So I just explore that if they see competition, they are really into, and they were crazy about it. They couldn't stop, and when they cleaned everything, they wanted to continue. So it was really nice experience. And they were workers in the school. They were very excited about taking picture with me. And this is kindergarten. I visited this kindergarten just for one day, and it was a friend of my teacher. She made this kindergarten just as her, like, she was volunteer there. She just made one room in her house, and having kids for 2 hours every day and just play games with them and so on. It was really interesting. It was in her house and she was full of motivation and she was working in the hospital, and it was in the village, in real like village, nothing else. And it was really nice that she created something like that to just to give opportunity for kids. And always when I came somewhere, they made poster like this with my name, and it was just for 2 hours and they did it. So anywhere I went, all the time poster with my picture and name, and I was speaking there and so on. And yeah, this is from the cleaning, gained from the work with the workers. And this is another group. This was my favorite class. It was the lowest grade. It was, they were the youngest one in the school, and but they were, I think they were the best. Even the higher grades weren't that good as this one. They were full of motivation, and as a team they were really good, and they, doesn't matter what we did, they wanted to do everything, and really full of motivation. And this is teacher in my school, and this is a picture from university. It was private university, and this department was from nurturing, and they were really nice. We were in the same, not same, but similar age, so it was different than with kids from primary school because we were closer to each other. So I felt with them like with friends. We could speak not only about teaching, of course, and but more than friends. So it was a really nice experience for me to be at university. These are also students, and this one was, I think, the most interesting experience for me because it was in military school, and all of them were students, but like it was semi-military school, so it was really very difficult for me. I stayed there for 3 weeks there, and they were like soldiers. They had all the schedule during day was like in army. And maybe you remember Petra's presentation. She stayed in this kind of school for the whole project, so she told you probably a lot. I stayed there just for 3 weeks, but it was like I was shocked that something like this still exists. It was very difficult for them, but on the other side, I like it because they got discipline that they will need in life. So it was really nice. And this time it was the end of my project in this school, so they did ceremony with balinese dance, and it was really nice. And yeah, this is the stable that I got in at university. So I had like my own office, and I could make coffee. It was completely different than in countryside. This was like big luxury for me. And yeah, I was enjoying time at university. And yeah, this was my last day in my school. It was completely the end of the project, so we were just taking pictures and everything. And I was like, I didn't cry. I'm not that kind of crying person, but I just realized like 6 months and everything is over. It was really, really fast. And on the beginning, I couldn't imagine that I would stay there for 6 months because it was difficult. But in the end, it was really nice. And I have more pictures, but I don't know how to change it because wait a second. This was just school life, and here, wait a second. Yeah, and this is like free time and traveling. I did many things there. So, for example, in free time, I visited a lot of weddings. It was when it was my fifth wedding, I just stopped counting because it was like all the time wedding. And and it was really nice experience because the culture is very different. So I was just observing, and firstly I was like not stressed, of course not stressed, but I was just shocked like how it can work like this and so on. And then I was just enjoying. I came there like a queen, and I felt very comfortable. And by the time I learned a bit, like I couldn't speak Indonesian language, but I could express some things, or I could say something. I could have like very small talk, so I felt more comfortable, and it was really nice, like feeling more comfortable with people and meeting them and so on. And this woman, she was my host family, and I had really good time with them. I will tell you later about it. And this one is I had like something like little excursion to East Java, and we were learning how to make batik. It's traditional clothes. So we could try it, and it was really interesting. And this was cooking traditional Javanese food, and it was all with wood and on fire, no kitchen, everything on the floor, and it was really nice. And yeah, this is my teacher Amir with his wife and son, and we went together to the beach. It was very close to our school. It was just around 30 kilometers, but by car it was like almost 2 hours traveling in Indonesia. It's really terrible, but it was really nice. And it was my first week in the school, and they took me to the beach. It was really nice from them. And yeah, this is the beach. And this was my first trip with my host family. It was my host family just for 1 week, but we stayed in touch, and we were meeting very often. And once I went with them for the trip, the father of the family, he had meeting after 25 years, after from high school after 25 years. And also they had family wedding, so I went with them. And when I woke up in the morning in the hotel, there were two volcanoes, and it was really amazing sunrise and having coffee there. It was really nice. And weather here was finally good. It wasn't very hot, it was just hot, so I could breathe fresh air, and it was really nice. And we went to the park and drinking coconut water for the first time. And this was my host family father, and he was civil servant. He was very nice. His English was like almost zero English on the beginning, but after time. He wasn't very shy to speak in the end, so he improved English, and he was like he felt more comfortable. But his wife, she is really like a queen. Her English is like no grammar, nothing, but she doesn't give you any time to speak. She is speaking all the time, and she is really like, I don't know how to explain her, but I had a really good time with her. It was her first time to meet foreigner, but she behaved very natural in a very natural way, and we went for swimming every Tuesday, and we had many trips and going out, and it was really nice with them. And this one is just picture, and yeah, this is the family. So she's the mother, daughter, and son. And all of them, they could understand. The son had good English, so it was like if they didn't understand. Yeah, I'm speaking about English because language was the most difficult problem for me there. It was very difficult to speak with people, but the son could speak English like not like high level, but we could understand. So if they didn't understand something, he translated, and it was like with them, it was the best when talking about English. They were very nice, and picture on the street. People were stopping me all the time to take picture and so on, and trip with family. And I was taking picture of everything because yeah, it was really interesting for me to see. And yeah, this was lunch with my teachers from school. This time it was I had 1 week off because they had exams in school, so I didn't have any classes, and they told me that you can do whatever you want. So I decided to go to island. It's called Karimun Java. It's I don't know how to explain. Like Bali, but Bali is just really a fake island because it's not nothing like in real Indonesia, and Karimun Java is like real exotic islands. And I had a very good time there. I stayed there for 5 days, and I wanted to go there by a ship alone by myself from school, but they were scared of me because they didn't know if I can take bus and so on. So they went with me to the port to buy tickets for the ship, and we had lunch together. So it was very nice from them. And I had also experience there when I was traveling back from the islands. I went by bus, and it was my first time to travel by this local bus. And when the driver in the bus saw that I am foreigner and I cannot speak Indonesian, they asked me price like a triple price for the tickets. But I say okay, I didn't know that it's expensive because it was still cheap. And then I told teachers in school that I paid how much I paid, and they told me that it's really expensive. So second time when I went by bus, I gave them just exact amount of money. I told teachers again, and they told me it's still a lot. So third time I gave them only 10,000, and the driver didn't tell anything. He told okay. So after 3 times traveling by bus, I realized how much I should pay, but it was still cheap. But yeah, when they see foreigner, they just use it. And it was on the island. It was real paradise, and I rented a motorbike. I know we shouldn't do it, but it was impossible to stay on this island with a motorbike. So, and there were almost no people, no traffic, no cars. It was really like just I was all the time on the beach, and I was the only person on the beach. So it was really nice. There was a jungle, and yeah, and yeah, it was like some parts of beaches were very dirty. So when you are all day on the beach, you have to find something to do. So I was cleaning up the beaches and taking pictures, and yeah, it was paradise when I see it now. And yeah, some markets, and people were taking pictures with me all the time. I was like celebrity when they saw me, and I saw their eyes. I know that they wanted to take a picture, so I just went to them and okay. And this was a daughter of one of my teachers, and she was really nice. She didn't speak anything. She was very shy, but she was really cool girl. And this is a sister of my teacher Amir, and she was very helpful for me. We were really good friends. And yeah, once we went with Amir for like it was something like carnival, so we went to watch it, and I was very excited about masks and costumes, and I think people were more excited about me than about carnival. Everyone was taking picture with me. It was like from 20 minutes walk, it was like 1 hour and a half walk. It was really nice. And yeah, now it's time to speak about people from my host organization. And they were very helpful. I think I could not survive it in such a cold peace way, my staying there in Indonesia without them, because I don't know how to explain it, but they were so nice people, and they were helping in everything. And I think it's because all of them were abroad. They all of them experience traveling. They all of them experience to be out of Indonesia, so they could understand foreigners. They literally they knew how to work with people out of Indonesia. So it was brilliant. They made our staying more cheerful, and I cannot complain about anything. They were really cool. So, and we had couple of dinners together as all of us were in different part of Indonesia. So it was very difficult to meet up, but sometimes we had dinners and it was really cool. And traveling around Java, and there were many beautiful places. And from time to time, when I was really like sick of countryside, I just went to a close city. It's called Semarang, and I just went to swimming pool. It was very cheap and it was like paradise. And sometimes I met with Petra from Czech Republic. She was on another project. We just met there and we went to swimming, and we were swimming like 2 hours and talking all the time, talking and enjoying speaking in the same in our languages. And then we had lunch and coffee, and it was like all the time when we met we did the same thing, just speaking in our languages, and it was the best thing. And once I came to one guest house, and there was a owner. She's the owner, and she was very nice. And I just saw a book there. It was about Indonesia, and I just started to watch it. And she told me that if I want, I can take it, and I can just give it back later. So after 3 months, I came back with the book, and hello, thank you for the book. It was really interesting. And then I stayed there for 1 week more, and we were shopping together. I was going with her to kindergarten with her son, and we were cooking together. Like I was paying her for it was guest house, it was like hostel. I was paying her for nights for staying there, but she was cooking me breakfast and lunches for free. It was like my man there. And I had problem with my trouser. I wanted to sew it. I don't have to pronounce it. And I didn't know how to do it. I never did it before, and she was helping me, and it was very friendly atmosphere. I felt like at home there. I didn't want to go back from this place. She was really nice. Yeah, and this is beach, and it was really nice place. And this place was we went there for team building, not team building, second meeting. How is it called? I don't know how is it called. Um, it's not team building, but first meeting when you start the project.
Meeting training.
Yes, yes, yes. This. So it was really nice, and we had a lot of fun there. And this was a poster for my farewell part when I was leaving from the university. And this, I remember this day as it was yesterday, and it was first rain after 3 months. And I didn't know what to say because it wasn't dry, and it was first time raining. So I just went out and enjoying the rain. And this picture is from the meeting with Petra. All the time when we met, we were just drinking coffee, eating cheesecakes, and talking. And in this cafeteria, we stayed for 6 hours, just talking and working on computers. And after that, we had big dinner together and just eating and talking and just enjoying, like speaking in our languages. Another wedding, and maybe this, it's durian. It's maybe for someone very smelly fruit. It was really exotic. And then there are just a couple of pictures. And yeah, this one was from meeting with Petra and Petra's mentor Ima. Maybe you heard about her. It was really brilliant meeting. They came to visit Amir to his house, and I came there, so we were sleeping in his house, and we went for dinner all together and Amir's friends, and it was really interesting sitting on the floor, eating with hands, and just enjoying a real Indonesian atmosphere and speaking with them. And speaking with Ima, it was really nice for me because she was like another mother or like mentor. She was very helpful, and she understood completely everything. Doesn't matter what was the problem, she could solve out everything. So she was very helpful, not only for Petra but also for me from time to time, even we didn't meet very often. And yeah, this was really funny picture because it was Christmas time and we came to swimming pool and like very really hot weather and Christmas decoration. So it was really like there was no Christmas atmosphere at all, but they did their best. And yeah, again Christmas, but it was more than 30 degrees outside, so not at all. And yeah, Indonesian food was delicious, very spicy but good. And this was my last day in military school. We had lunch together, and those teachers, they were really like friends. I didn't feel like they were teachers, but I felt more like friends with them. We could speak about everything, and it was better with them because like not better than with previous one, but easier because their English was really fluent, so we could speak about basically everything without no difficulties. So yeah, it was really nice. I felt like I was there 3 weeks and I had classes and everything, but I felt like on the vacation. And this time it was Christmas time, so I just wanted to go out of Java to go to Bali as it's like more European. So just to, I wanted, I needed a change, so I just went to Bali. And yeah, this was time to go home. And of course rainy season finally, so rice time, and we went many times to rice fields. And this is from Jakarta. It's another point of view, like it's not just exotic country, but there were a lot of poor people, and even they didn't have anything, they had everything. I don't know how to explain it, but this feeling when you don't have nothing but you are still happy and you have still many things to give. It was, yeah, I'm still like I want to go back because it was here it doesn't happen here in Slovakia. I think in general in Europe they didn't have anything but they had everything. And they had many struggles, but they managed everything. And they didn't care about anything. If they wanted to sleep on the street, they just lay down on their motorbike, and everything was really easy for them. They, if they had problems, they just managed somehow, and they didn't have problems. I just realized that here in Europe we don't have problems, but we make it. And they don't have any problems, they don't make any problems. They life, they don't have anything, but they take easy everything and they enjoy it. And here yeah, my mom doesn't understand my mind now because I'm like very cheerful, and I don't like, I care, but I, in her mind, I don't care about anything, and she doesn't understand uh, how I could came up to this point of view. But I really learn a lot in Indonesia, and their life is really nice. And yeah, this is picture from Jakarta. I met in Jakarta my sister and my friend from Slovakia. My sister came to Indonesia just to visit me for 3 weeks, and then we left together. And my friend from Slovakia, she was working in Indonesia in Slovak embassy in Jakarta, but just like an intern for 1 month. So we met in Jakarta. And this is from, yeah, after all my projects finished, I could travel. So I was traveling with my sister for 3 weeks, and we went to Singapore because of my visa. Yeah, some pictures from Singapore. And it was really nice trip. And I had very big problem with my sister. This is my sister. I had big problem with my sister in Bali because I think she didn't manage. She her body was very sick. She didn't overcome temperature difference, so she stayed for 1 week in the bedroom. And we were supposed to call a doctor because she wasn't able to move to do anything. So she stayed 1 week in bed, and I was just taking care of her. And I was going to the beach alone, and I was like, I just had 1 week of vacation alone without her, and it was very terrible. But in the end, we managed, and after 1 week she could move. And and we enjoyed it in the end, but it was really difficult for her. And some pictures from Bali and backpackers, and it was really nice place, and we explored everything. Yeah, Indonesia is beautiful country. And then we went to Lombok and Gili Islands, and we stayed in the islands with no cars, no motorbike, just bicycles and horses, and we stayed there for 6 days doing nothing, just going to the beach, snorkeling, eating, sleeping, and it was real vacation. And in Indonesia, I explore not only myself, but something what I want to do, and it was I explored that I like writing a lot. So I started to write many articles, and I started to lead my blog about, it was mostly about Indonesia, and I started to write for one online magazine. So I learned a lot there, and I went there to explore myself, and I think I did my mission, and it was for me it was really brilliant experience. And there are just some many pictures, and this was my last day. Yeah, and the last thing that I want to say, that my sister came to Indonesia for 3 weeks, and she had hand luggage and one big luggage. And we decided that she will bring one big luggage full of clothes that we don't use, and we gave it to children. We gave it to a teacher, to Amir, and he gave it to kids that need it. So this was really nice. And yeah, there were many things that you can do for them, and to meet them, and they are very happy. So yeah, this was really nice experience for me, and I don't know what else to say. And yeah, for example, this seems like vodka, but it's petrol.
Yeah.
And
Okay, maybe thanks a lot, Radka. And